Yeah, but the others, this has reward, but it has a much higher risk. But there exists a portfolio that has a higher reward and lower risk. Portfolio D dominates portfolio E. Okay. When you do it over averages, it's called stochastic domination, but you don't need to know that. So if you bought portfolio E, you could have done better in portfolio D, both in terms of reward and risk. D gives you a higher reward and less risk. So this portfolio is called inefficient. Okay. An inefficient portfolio, a portfolio is called inefficient if there exists a feasible portfolio with higher or equal reward and uh, lower risk. If there does not exist such a portfolio, if you cannot improve both reward and risk, that portfolio is called efficient. If such an alternative portfolio doesn't exist, the portfolio in question is efficient. I'm going to do one more, then we'll do our charts. That's going to be your cue to go home after that. I'm going to do just 1%. Let's see what happens at 1%. Okay, yeah, where's my risk? Copy, paste. As you can see, that is also inefficient. It's dominated by the 2% thingy. Let's call it portfolio F. I'm going to actually sort these from lowest risk to highest risk. Actually, from lowest reward to highest risk reward. Data, sort, and I want to sort it by reward, smallest to largest. Okay, because I want to do line charts. If I wanted to do only a dot chart, sorting wouldn't have mattered. So I'm going to plot risk against the reward. Pick your area, go to insert. Uh, see this little dot box that has little dots on it. It's called scatter graph. And pick the one with that. All right. Right click on this chart. That's not what I wanted to do. Move this chart to a new sheet so that we can get a better look at it. I normally tell you don't play too much with the lowest values of the axes, but in this case it matters. On this part, I'm going to format the axis. I'm going to have the minimum at 0.4%, 0.0040. All right. So we get a little bit of better picture. If you want a little bit contrast, pick the flat area. I want to make that black and white, solid fill, and black. Format data series. I'm going to have a solid line. I'm going to make it white, and I'll make it a little bit thick. It's my line. I can make it a little bit thicker. This is the so-called minimum variance boundary. Ideally, you would do it with a lot more values, but kind of looks like this. Now, any portfolio on the downward sloping part of the minimum variance boundary is inefficient. Why? Think of this portfolio. All I have to do is just go up. I have a portfolio with higher return, but exactly the same risk. Similarly, any portfolio inside, not on the line, inside the minimum variance boundary are inefficient because I can go up or to the left and improve it, or go pretty much to northwest to improve yourself. Anything outside of that line are not feasible. If you wanted a portfolio that returned 10%, but also had a risk of 0.4, there is no solution to that, at least for these three stocks, okay? There is no linear combination that would have given you that. This is already the minimum variance boundary. Anything to the left is not feasible. But the portfolios that lie on the upward sloping part, they are all efficient because you cannot improve upon them. I mean, to improve upon, let's think about a portfolio that has 8% return and 0.69 risk. In order to improve on that, you have to move somewhere, right? Well, if you go up, it's infeasible. If you go left, it's not feasible. Well, anything to the bottom, anything down, and to right, they're inefficient to begin with. So the only way you can increase that return is to assume higher risk. So if I want to increase my return from 6% to 8, I have to take higher risk. Before it was 0.6, now it's 0.7. This is where that you guys must have heard this, or may have heard this in a lot of places. In order to get a higher return, you have to assume higher risk. How much risk, that much return. That thing is not a old folks tale. It is actually a theorem in finance. Okay, I actually call this fundamental theorem of risk management. It comes from this analysis. That means rational investors would only hold portfolios that lie on that upward sloping part. If you had a portfolio, you calculated it, you are inside that line, you had an inefficient portfolio. In fact, investing only in the S&P 500, that's going to be inefficient. Why? Let's see. If I did the weights as 100, it has a higher reward, 1448, but much higher risk, 159. I mean, it's not even here. I mean, the other one is not there either, but I could have done it and seen it. So the risk return dots for the WU would have place itself inside the efficient frontier. Okay. I'm going to stop here for today. On Monday, we're going to kind of do variations. For example, we're going to ask, what if we're not allowed to short or buy on margin? What's the efficient frontier looks like? Or what if I give you limited shorting ability and limited margin ability? We're going to play with the constraints and figure those out. I'll see you guys Monday.